In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw this vintage coffee poster. For this illustration, you will need my free siakulaart special brushes. They are linked in the description, and you can also download the color palette so you can have the same colors as I do. If you will enjoy this video and would like to get more Procreate tutorials and brushes, I have many of them on my Patreon. You can check it out, link is in the description. And with all that being said, grab your drawing tools and let's start. Let's make a new canvas, A4 canvas from Procreate. And first we can add here the background color. Let's open the color palette and take this first one here and just drag and drop it in here. Now we are going to make a new layer to draw the frame. So let's tap here on the plus and let's take a color for the frame. Take this one. And let's pick the brush. Let's go here to my siakulaart special brushes and we'll take Fun Ink. Let's make the brush size 83. And to draw the frame here nicely, we are going to use here a symmetry tool. Let's turn it on. Let's go to the Actions menu, go to Canvas, and then turn on Drawing Guide. Now tap on Edit Drawing Guide. And here at the bottom, let's tap on Symmetry. And in the options, we are going to take Quadrant. Let's tap on Done. And let's start with drawing a circle in the corner here. We can draw the circle over here. Maybe I'm going to actually change the size of the brush. Let's make here 58. So draw a circle like this. Hold your pencil on the screen and now put your finger here to make this a perfect circle. And now we can tap here and we can move it. Let's move it to the corner over here like this. When you finish, tap with your finger on the screen. We can draw here a small dot like that. And now we'll draw a straight line going horizontally. Draw it somewhere over here. Hold your pencil on the screen and you can put your finger here to make this horizontal. And now let's draw a vertical line. So in the same way, hold your pencil on the screen and then put your finger here to make this vertical. Now we just have to erase this small part on the circle. So let's take the eraser, tap on it again, and set it to the same brush, so Fun Ink. Let's make the brush size 42, and we can just erase it here like this. Okay, now we are going to make a new layer to draw the lines coming out of one point. So let's make the layer. We have to change the symmetry tool here. So let's go to the Actions menu, Canvas, and Edit Drawing Guide. Now we are going to pick here Perspective. Tap with your pencil on the screen to add the vanishing point. And let's move this point somewhere maybe over here. So in about 1/3 of the canvas horizontally and vertically also. We also have to turn on here Assisted Drawing. So this way we'll be able to draw the lines and they'll be coming to this point. Let's tap on Done. And what we are going to do here first, we are going to get the same shape that we just drew here and fill it in. So let's go to this layer here with the shape of the frame. Let's duplicate it. And let's make it smaller. So let's take the arrow tool. At the bottom, pick Uniform option. And you can have snapping turned on. And let's make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to change now here to Freeform. And I will just take this top part up, like this. Let's tap here to finish, and let's color this inside. So drag and drop the color in here. And we have to erase here those dots. So let's take the eraser and just erase them. Now we are going to create here this pattern of the lines going to this point by erasing them. So let's start from the outside of the canvas and draw a line going towards this point. You can follow those lines that you see here, but you don't have to. So let's do it like that all over here around. And now we can erase the middle part of those shapes. Let's make the brush size bigger. I'll make it 70%. And just erase it manually like this. We can actually turn off the drawing assist now. So tap here and turn off the drawing assist. So the erasing will be easier. Let's do it manually here so we can have here some imperfections. It doesn't have to be erased like perfectly. It's okay if there will be some color left here. And if something like this happens, that they don't match exactly, like you will have here too many spaces left, we can just readjust it. So I'll draw a new line here and I will erase it like that. And I will just bring back this one. So I'll take this color, I got the brush, and I will just color it in. Now we don't need to see the symmetry tool anymore, we can turn it off. So let's go to the Actions menu and turn off the drawing guide. Let's open the layers. And we have here this new layer that we didn't use before. We can use it now. Let's turn off the drawing assist on it. So tap here and turn it off. And we are going to draw here a stripe of color going across the canvas. So with the same color, same brush, we'll just draw two lines going here this way. At an angle, like that. Hold your pencil on the screen to make this a straight line. And let's make sure we cover this middle point here. So something like that. And let's draw a line lower, over here. And now we can color the middle of this. So drag and drop the color in here. And you can swipe your pencil on the screen to adjust the color drop threshold. I want to move this up a little bit, so I'll take the arrow tool and I'll just move it up like that. Okay. Let's tap here to finish. And now let's erase the lines here on the edge. So take the eraser and just erase them so you can see that frame again here. Okay, before we move on and start drying the coffee, maybe let's add some textures to this. We can already start making it look vintage. For this we can make a new layer on top of everything. We are going to change the color. Let's take this one and we'll take a brush with some texture. Let's go to the brushes. We are going to use the brush again from my siakulaart special brushes. Let's take rough chalk. With the brush size 100%, we are going to draw all over this. So just like that. Now we can change the blending mode of this to make it look nice. So let's tap here and we are going to set it to linear burn. Let's turn down the opacity of this. Let's make it 8%. Let's add some more texture. Make a new layer for this. Now we're going to take white color. We can just take it manually like that. And we'll change the brush. Let's go here now to textures. And let's take grunge. Let's make the brush size 100%. And again, we can just draw here all over this, like that. Let's change the blending mode of this. We are going to set this one to overlay. And we can turn down the opacity of this. Let's make it 19. We are going to add here one more texture. Let's make a new layer for this. And with the white color, let's change the brush. Let's go back to my siakulaart special brushes. And now we are going to take here scratch. Let's make the brush size 30. And now we can just draw here some lines all over this. Let's make the brush size bigger now, 70%, and add a few more. And now I'll change the brush. Let's take here hatching random. And with the brush size 7, we can also add it in few places. Okay, now we have to change the blending mode. We are going to set this one to screen. And we are going to turn down the opacity. So it's there, but it's barely visible. Let's make it 17. Now, still before we move on, let's go back to those two layers here with the green shapes. And we are going to make them more vintage by erasing some of them. So let's start here with this, with the big shape. Take the eraser, tap on it again, and let's set it to rough chalk. With the brush size 32, we can very lightly erase this here like that. Just in few places. Maybe a little bit on the edges. This will be enough. And let's do the same now to this layer with the shapes. So here. And let's erase it. Maybe I'll make the brush size bigger now. 63. And I will just erase it in few places. And we can do the same to the frame. So let's go here. Let's turn off the drawing assist on this. And let's erase it just in few places. So it's not so perfect. Okay, I think this looks pretty good now. We can start drawing our coffee. Let's make a new layer for this. And let's put this layer on top of that green stripe over here. Let's change the color. Take this one. And let's change the brush. Let's go here to my fun ink brush. Let's make the brush size 16. And let's draw a simple cup of coffee. Let's draw a straight line going across the screen, like this. Hold your pencil on the screen to make this a straight line, and put your finger here to make this horizontal. Now let's draw an arc here, like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Here at the bottom, we can draw a shape like this. Straight line at the bottom. And then we'll just connect it with that cup over here with some arcs. Okay, we can color this. And now let's take a small break, and I would like to ask you to write a comment with the word coffee. It would mean a lot to me. I would know that you enjoyed this video, and I would be very happy to see who's watching me. And now let's go back to drawing. And now let's draw the handle. So a simple shape like this. Okay. We can color this, but let's leave here a small part not colored over here on top. Now we're going to make the top edge thicker. So let's draw a line here. And we are going to add here shadow. So let's draw an arc following the shape of the cup on the right side over here. And let's color this inside. I'll make the brush size bigger for this. I'll make it 40. And I will just color it inside. Now let's draw some lines going out of this shape, like that. You can make them curved a little bit. And now we can draw here the steam coming out of the coffee. Let's draw here a line like this. Color this inside. And a smaller one on this side. Let's erase a line in the middle of those shapes. So let's take the eraser. Let's set it to the same brush that we're using. So fun ink. And let's make it smaller. 14%. And erase a line in the middle of those shapes. Like this. Now we are going to fill this cup with color. So for this, we can set this layer as reference. Tap on it and pick reference. Now let's make a new layer and put it underneath that reference layer. And let's change the color. Let's take this one. We can drag and drop it in here now. And also here. I will just color this manually here so I can fill in those small gaps. Now we can add here some more color. We'll do it on a new layer. We can turn off the reference now. We don't need this anymore. And now let's go back to that new layer, this one. And let's change the color. Take this one. And we are going to draw here a shape in the middle of that white shape. Like that. Let's close it and let's color this inside. Now we can erase here part of this to create kind of like a highlight. So let's take the eraser. I will make it bigger, 38. And I will erase here a shape like this. And maybe a small line over here. And the coffee is ready. We can move it now. Maybe I'll make it smaller. It looks a little bit big here. So for this, we can select all of those layers with the coffee. So swipe on them to the right. And we can take the arrow tool and move it and make it smaller. Just here at the bottom, make sure you have your uniform option selected. Okay, for now I think this is good. We can always come back here later and change it. Let's tap here to finish. And now we can draw some coffee beans. Let's make a new layer for this. Let's move this layer under the layer with the coffee over here. And let's change the brush. Let's take this one. Take the brush, fan ink. And let's draw simple shapes like this. Kind of like an oval shape. Color this inside. Now maybe one over here. Color this inside. And one somewhere over here. Color this inside. Now we can cut away part of this to make it look like a coffee bean. Let's take the eraser. And let's just erase here a line like that. Same here. And here. Okay. I will make them a little bit smaller. I'll take the arrow tool. Okay, I think this is better. And now we can start adding the text. To add the text, we have to go to the Actions menu, Add, and then Add Text. Let's write here Fresh in the capital letters. Let's select it like that, and now we can tap here to change the font. And I have downloaded 2 new fonts for this illustration. I have linked them in the description of this video, so if you want you can use them too, or you can just use any font that you like. If you will download the same font that I have here, you have to import it. You can just go here to import font and then find it where it's saved. And it will come in here. So for this, I will use here the new font. It's this one, Schluber. I can make the size bigger here. I'll make it 91.1. And I want the letters to be spread out a little bit. So for this, I can change the kerning. I'll make it 1.1. Let's tap on Done. I'm going to move this. I'll take the arrow tool and move it somewhere over here. We can also change the size of this now, if you want to. I will tap here to finish this. And in the same font, I want to have one more word. So we can just duplicate this layer maybe. Let's swipe on it and pick Duplicate. Now tap on it and pick Edit Text. We can tap here and change this to Everyday. We can move it, and I want this to be in a different color. So I'm going to tap on it again. to select it, and I will change the color. I will take this one. Now I can take the arrow tool and I can move it down here, and I will make it smaller. Okay, let's tap here to finish. And now let's add the word coffee. So again, we can just duplicate this word, tap on it and pick edit text. And now double tap here, select the word. Let's write here coffee. Let's select it again and change the font. For this I will use the other font. It's this one, Retro Rock. I will make it bigger. And I want this to be in a different color. So now when this is selected, I can open the colors and take this color. I will move it over here and make it bigger. And I think I don't want those letters to be so spread out, so I'm going to edit this text again. I will just take off the kerning. I'll make it 0. Okay. Now I would like this to have an outline. So I'm going to duplicate this text. I will take the one underneath, tap on it again and pick edit text. Now select this. I will change the color to the dark color, this one. Now I'm going to select it again, go here, and I will take this option. It will give me the outline. I can tap on done now. And to make this more interesting, we can add here another color. Let's go to this layer here and duplicate it. We are going to rasterize this. So let's tap on it and pick rasterize. And we'll change the color of this. Let's tap on it, pick select. At the bottom, turn on color fill and let's pick the color. Let's take this one. Now let's go back to the layers and we are going to move this, but we want this to be visible only on this text layer here. So let's tap on it and pick here clipping mask. Now when we take the arrow tool, we can see it only within that shape of the word. So let's move it somewhere over here like this. We are almost finished here. We can now go back maybe to those layers here, the green layers, and maybe I want to erase a little bit more of those colors. So I will go here, I will take the eraser, I'll tap on it again, I will set it to the rough chalk, and maybe I'll just erase this here a little bit more. Now I can go to this layer here and also erase some of it. Just to give this a little bit more rough look. Okay, and now we can add here a paper texture. So for this, let's go to the Actions menu, Add, and insert a file. And then let's pick the paper texture. For this, I will use paper texture number 10. Let's move this paper texture all the way to the top. We have to change the blending mode of this. Let's set this one to color burn and turn down the opacity. I will make it 44. And now in the end, we can still add here some roughness, some darkness to the edges of this. Let's make here a new layer. Move this under the paper texture. Let's change the color. Take this one. And let's change the brush. Let's go to my Siakulaart special brushes And let's take here texture 4. With the brush size 49, we can draw here all around the edges, just like that. We are going to change the blending mode of this. Let's set this to overlay. And this is nice, but I want this to be a little bit stronger. So I'm going to duplicate this layer. And I will turn down the opacity on this one. I'll make it 71. I think this looks nice now, but we can maybe now erase a little bit of this. Let's take the eraser, tap on it again and set it to the same brush, so texture 4. And with the brush size 37, we can just erase it here in few places where you think maybe it's too much. Okay, and now this is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope you can share your drawing with me on my Instagram. I would love to see it. And if you would like to get more Procreate tutorials and brushes, join my Patreon. Link is in the description. Thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. Bye!